Good morning, good morning, good morning, grand rising light bugs and light beings. So I just woke up and I kept hearing this song in my head. Um, if you need to love somebody, hey baby, be that body. Here I am, boy. If you need to love somebody, hey baby, be that body. Here I am. I'ma love you more than noon and night. I'ma love you every time you like. Oh, if you need to love somebody, hey baby, be that body. Here I am. Yeah. So I'm like, why that song keep playing in my head? Like, that's my jam. It's Monica, right? And um, I was just like, okay, the song is playing in my head, whatever. And I picked up my phone, and as soon as I opened my phone, um, there was a video there, and it was like maybe 7 minutes, and I was watching it, and the girl was like, somebody is struggling to have faith and struggling to believe. And I was like, bro, that's deep, right? And I'm like, okay, I've been feeling that because I myself been going through my own little thing, right? And so I started hearing all these different little like quips because I'm an information person, as you can see, I'm an information person. So I was like, well, what is faith, right? And I was like, well, I'm learning right now in this present moment that faith is trust, and trust is a testament of faith, right? And so I was like, well, let me break that down for somebody that wouldn't understand it or wouldn't be able to really process that. Because a lot of times people are like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Or like kids are like, why? But why? So I was like, okay, let me make it clear so that a person can really understand how to exercise in faith and how to process and faith and understanding how to trust, right? And how to truly honestly believe. And so another thing came to my mind was this guy was getting an interview or giving an interview, and he was like, well, belief is a trick. All right, to believe in something is a trick. And he was like, well, what do you mean? He said, well, because to believe in it means that there leaves room for doubt, and you should never have room for doubt. And so I was like, oh, I like that too. And so I said, well, that let me make sure that I'm saying this message correctly, right? And so I was like, well, I don't want to tell a person to believe because, I mean, yeah, you should believe. However, believing leaves room for doubt. So how do we spin that so that they don't just believe but they know, right? And so I want this message to be very profound for whoever needs to hear this, to understand and know that you have everything you need already inside of you. And I remember in my last video, I was talking about how your presence is make your presence impactful, and your presence is profound by how much intention and effort and energy you put behind it. But your presence is only as profound in terms of your confidence and your trust and your belief in yourself, right? And so I'm like, well, let's tweak that so that it's concrete, because you don't ever want to have room or space for doubt within your own self, within thine self, right? And so that brings about your trust and your knowing and your belief in God. And then I started thinking about like, how do we know that God is real? How can we trust in God? How can we trust in a higher power? Think about your actual life. Think about all of the things that you have actually experienced or gone through that was crazy, detrimental, um, just a happenstance that was like life altering or life shattering, yet you're still here. You made it through it, right? Give yourself the credit and the grace because you were able to get through something. That is your testimony. The trial and the tribulation was your test. The fact that you are still here is your testimony. It is your ability and your capability to say, hey, I went through that. And your trust comes from your testimony, which in turn builds your faith in yourself and your ability and your faith in a source or higher power that gave you that capability to get through whatever it is you went through, right? So I was like, okay, how else can I explain it so that a person can process this, right? I have everything I need. I say that to myself. And there's a gospel song. I have everything I need. I have everything I need. Right? But you do, right? You have everything you actually need to thrive and survive. Everything else outside of you is not important. What's important is that you can breathe. What's important is that you can see, you can hear, you can smell, you can taste, you can touch, you can move, and that you have life, right? Because some people don't have those senses. However, you have life, right? And what is important is that you have life, that minuscule thing that we take for granted, which is actually a massive thing. You woke up. You're alive. You have an opportunity, a chance to do it again. You have the ability to attempt again. I don't like saying try. I told a friend of mine, try is a failing word because anybody can try. Anybody can attempt, can try to do something, yet it leaves room for you to doubt yourself. When you make that attempt, you are attempting to be great. You are attempting to be successful because you have taken time to process and plan out what it is you're attempting to do, right? But many of us get caught up in like our failures, and we focus on our failures and how we did not succeed and how we didn't do well, and I don't have the money for this and I don't have the money for that, and I don't know how I'm going to do this and I don't know how I'm going to do that. That begins to build that cloud of doubt that stems from fear, that stems from the unknowing. You are not supposed to fear the unknowing. You are supposed to embrace it, right? And I have been working really, really hard to embrace the unknown because I like to be in control of my outcomes, right? I like to know how the situation is going to play out or how the scenario is going to play out. And what God has been showing me lately is that you are not in control of everything. And so I explained that to my son recently because my son has been having his little moments. He's been going through his little stuff. And I said, sweetheart, I'm going to need you to stop and think about things. I said, there's something called the serenity prayer, right? God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Wait. I'm saying it wrong. God grant me serenity. Courage to change things I cannot. I was saying it right. I'm sorry. I had to process. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference between the two. Right? And so I say that prayer anytime I find myself wanting to be in control of a situation that I don't have control over. And so I'm relaying that because I really believe that there's somebody out there that needs this message, somebody out there that needs to understand and know that, like, God helps those who help themselves. Yes. So if you are taking any effort or any step or movement in the direction to better yourself, and you are trusting in yourself, and you are believing in yourself, and not just believing, but deeply knowing that, if I do this and I stick with it and I stay positive and I stay optimistic and I trust and believe that everything's going to work out for me the way that it's supposed to work out for me, regardless of what this person does, regardless of what that person does, regardless of what that person says, it doesn't matter. If I don't even say if, when because it's an action. When I know that everything's going to be okay, even if I'm really not sure or no, I know that I am okay. I know that I am still here. I know that I have the capability and ability to do something when I know. And as I grow in my knowing and as I grow in my trust, which in turn is building my faith, and I'm exercising in my gratitude by being grateful and appreciative of the fact that I still have another chance or opportunity to move forward, everything works out. Because I know I have everything I need. Focus on the small things, not the massive, enormously large problems or situations that occur in your life. Most of the time, those massively large problems or situations that are occurring in your life are stemming from the most minuscule things, right? And many of us have like financial problems, right? I don't have enough money for this, or I'm going to pay this, and I'm going to pay that. When you do that, when you go through that spiral of thinking of things in that nature, you are already setting yourself up for failure. You are. Because you are supposed to know, like, first and foremost, money is not real. It is a transactional piece of paper or coin, right? But it's not real. It is part of a bartering system. I'm going to give you this piece of paper so that you can give me this item. I'm going to give you these coins so that you give me this item. I can give you my shoes and you give me a blanket and a coat. It's bartering, right? And so we have become so warped in our thinking that, oh, I gotta have money for this, and oh, I gotta have money for that. Yes, our society and our world functions and operates off of money, but the whole system is getting ready to crash anyway. So I don't even know why we even tripping over that, because we getting ready to go back to this whole barter system anyway. They getting ready to start going into a point system as it is. Like, they show you everything they're going to do to you through movies. That's another thing that we were talking about in a friend of mine. We were having a conversation because I'm like, yo, did you even know that? Like, I said, most movies tell us what's going to happen before we even realize it's going to happen, but we look at it as just a movie and we don't process it in a spiritual sense. You need to look at things through a spiritual sense, through your spiritual eyes. You need to wake up. You need to pay attention. Like, really, everything that's ever, like, really go back and play your tape back and really think about some of the movies that we've actually watched, and then think about real life scenarios or situations where it is actually played out in real life. Yet we don't make the connection. We don't draw the connection. We don't pay attention. We sleep. We sleepwalking. A lot of us are sleepwalking. Wake up, right? Wake up. Understand and know that time is money. When they say, because I've heard that people's like, time is money. Time is money. Your time is your money. Your time is what you are allotted to be here. And when your time is up, it's up. Once your time is up, you're gone. You transition on to the next phase of life. Meaning you are dead and gone. You are no longer here on this planet. You are transitioned to another realm to do whatever it is that you need to do. Or you might have to reincarnate and come back and do it all over again. Whatever. But once you're gone, once there's no more breath in your body, no more ligaments in your limbs, your time is up. So your time is actually your money, right? And many of us are abundant in time, and many of us are not. And it's so funny because I was looking at where did I put my phone? I was looking at the scripture for today, right? And I was like, how does that connect to what? Because I go back to my scripture every day because the scripture it gives me a message for the day, right? Every day. And I'm like, all right, how does that connect to what I'm about to talk about, right? 1 Timothy 4:12. It says, let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers in word and conversation and charity and spirit and faith and in purity. And so I'll give you another version of the same thing because I was like, I like to look at that. I like to look at it in different versions because it helps to break it down so other people can understand. It says, don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. And so that brings me to another point where people say, you're only as young as you feel, or you are as young as you feel. True. Your physical body may grow and age, yet your spiritual body and it may be youthful. Your energy, your energetic frequency, your energetic signal may be youthful. And you're youthful in terms of your knowing and belief of yourself, your understanding of yourself, and how you choose to take care of you, how you choose to move, how you choose to trust, how you choose to exercise throughout the course of your daily, everyday life. Like when I wake up, I'm grateful. I wake up in gratitude. I just told my son that he's like, Mom, I'm waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, that's wonderful. You're supposed to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. He's like, what? Why? I said, because you're supposed to rise with the sun and set with the sun. That's your natural circadian rhythm. You're rising when you're supposed to rise. Your natural biological clock wakes you up when you're supposed to. When you are not waking up with your natural biological clock and the natural circadian rhythm of the earth, you are out of sync. You are out of alignment. That's why they say go be in nature and be one with nature, because nature teaches you how to function, how to thrive, how to live and survive. One of the scriptures says, the birds do not worry where they're going to get their food. They do not worry where their next meal is going to come from. They do not worry about their shelter. Think about it. Most animals don't. They know that they're going to be able to suffice, right? And they suffice according to their will, according to their capability and ability, and the effort that they put out towards the environment for them to get whatever it is they need. They have everything they need. It's all in according to how often or how much they intend to help themselves. God helps those who help themselves. So if you are not moving and you are not putting forth any effort to try anything, if you are not putting forth any effort to attempt to get to where it is you want to go, or to attempt to even see the process, because sometimes you can't see it, right? Sometimes you have a vision and it's difficult to make that vision plain. It's difficult to see that vision come into fruition. They say have a vision board so that you have an idea to kind of take the idea or the image from out of your mind and put it on paper. When you put it on paper and you make it concrete, you have already produced something, because you have actually taken it from a idea or a thought, and you have transferred it to paper, making it a concrete thing, which in turn helps to build that connection and allows you to take those steps to accomplish what it is you are attempting to accomplish, to get to where it is you're attempting to go, right? You're taking a step in your journey. The thing is, you have to keep going. A lot of times we stop because we don't see any results. You're not going to see results right away. It's just not. You have to take that step. And when you take that step and you start moving, you have to give yourself grace and give yourself credit. You know what? I did it today. I got up today. I moved around today. I may not have gotten to the things I wanted to get to, but I did this today. I did that today. I did that. You have to take your small wins and give yourself grace and reward for the small things that you were, 1919, reward for the small things that you were able to do. My therapist would say, stop trying to eat the whole elephant. You're going to choke. You got to take small bites, meaning you got to take small steps. Meaning you have to set it up so that you can succeed. And as opposed to setting yourself up for failure. And I told my son that, I'm like, yo, piss poor planning leads to piss poor performance. And excuses are tools of the inept. They lead to pathways of nothingness and nowhere. So if you're not going to take the time to sit and plan out or process out where it is you want to go, what do you think is going to happen? If you're not going to be positive and optimistic and hopeful and confident and speak life into yourself, what do you think is going to happen? If you're always second guessing and doubting, what do you think is going to happen? How successful do you honestly think you are going to be? One of the studies that I'm doing, the Bible study that I'm doing, is about David and Goliath, and it's the book of David. And I missed a lot of the days, right? So I was like, okay, well, if I miss a day, so what? I'm not gonna sit here and try to stick to every little single day that everybody else do just because they doing it. No, I'm gonna do it my way, right? And so the question in the devotional was, do you know whose battle it is? And a lot of people are like, what? The battle is the Lord's, not yours. Meaning, I can't control all the outcome. And I don't want to burden myself with the things that I really don't know. 21, right? It says, where in your life do you need to remember that the battle belongs to God? Right? Meaning, there are things like it says we fight not against human flesh, but against principalities and the dark princes of this world, right? So we're not fighting against human flesh, meaning we're not fighting against physical, tangible things, but things that we cannot see, things that we cannot process, things that we cannot truly, honestly understand. As and some people are versed in their spiritual sense, right? Yeah, if we're fighting against principalities and princes of darkness, that is something that you cannot physically, tangibly touch. Principality? A principality. Like, come on. Right? That's principle. It is an unseen yet understood process and or thing or statute. Right? And so, if I can't see it and I can't touch it, yet it is affecting me, how do I fight it? By trusting in God, trusting in a higher power, trusting in knowing that you have everything you need to get through whatever it is you need to get through. It's mind over matter. Everything is mind over matter. The battle is actually in your mind. The battle is always in your head. It's in your head. How in control of your thoughts and your mind and your own belief and knowing are you? How in control of your crown are you? How in control of your third eye are you? Are you allowing a soothsayer to speak into your portal? Are you allowing what you see contaminate your portals or contaminate your vision? Because the eyes are the windows to the soul. So the eyes see all and know all, and they understand and they process things. Yet, if you're taking it in, what are you putting out? And are you aware of what you're taking in? Same thing down to what you smell, what you smoke, what you eat, all of that. Even down to your physical, intimate acts. Because I was going to say a different word, but I don't want to get in trouble. So, what are you allowing into you to deter you or misconstrue or give you a misconception of what it is that you know that you are supposed to be doing, because many of us already know what we're supposed to be doing and where we're supposed to be going and how we're supposed to do it. We might not know how, yet we know what we're supposed to be doing. We know, like, I know I'm supposed to be over there. I know it's supposed to be mine. If you know it and you believe it and you trust it and you leave no room for doubt and no room to allow someone to talk you out of. If you know it, trust it. Your trust is a testament of your faith. Your trust is faith in action. Your trust, I'm going to say it again. Your trust is faith in action. Many days I wake up, I don't know what's going to happen throughout the course of my day. I just trust and know and I believe that everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to work out. I say a prayer every day. Every day I wake up, I'm praying. Sometimes I'm praying throughout the course of the day. When there are things that are arising and it's like, oh my goodness, this is taking me here and I don't want to be here. Okay, but Lord, if this is where you need me to be, how do you need me to show up? If I need to take a step back, let me take a step back. A lot of times we are triggered when we're frustrated, when we're irritated, when we're agitated, when we are annoyed. Those emotions, yes, they say they're negative, yet there's no such thing as a negative emotion. It's a low vibration emotion and a high vibration emotion. There's no such thing as a negative emotion. Every emotion that you feel, you're feeling it for a reason, because it's attempting to teach you something about yourself. It is attempting to teach you somewhere where you're not showing up. It is attempting to teach you somewhere where you need to tweak or modify or accommodate yourself and those around you, so that you can be the better version of yourself. You should always be working to your highest potential of yourself. You should always. And I was like, yo, I don't even know what I'm going to name or title this video, but I was like, yo, when I woke up, I kept hearing Monica's song, Here I Am. If you need to love somebody, hey, baby, let me be that body. Here I am. I can love you morning, noon, and night. I'm like, okay. It just kept playing. I'm like, yo, why I keep hearing this song? Okay, let me just go ahead and play the song. Let me go ahead and listen to the song. Because a lot of times when that happens and I wake up and I hear songs or music in my head, I listen to the song. Or I'll go and I look up the lyrics to understand the lyrics. Like, okay, well, why, what's so important and what's so special about this lyric, right? And so I said, well, this message is for somebody. This message is about somebody. Maybe it be their relationship. Maybe it be, oh, excuse me. That was gross. Sorry. Maybe it be a relationship. Maybe it be a friendship. Maybe it be finances. Maybe it be whatever it is that they're struggling with, right? Understand and know that you don't have to deal with it on your own. She said, here I am, right? I'm here. I'm here to offer help. I'm here to offer assistance. I'm here to help you. Just like Spirit is here to offer assistance. Spirit is here to help you. Spirit is here to guide you. Right? You are never alone. I told my son that you are never alone. We are never alone. Even though you might feel lonely, even though you might be sad and be like, oh, I wish somebody was here with me now. You're never alone. Even when you are alone, you're never alone. You are always constantly being watched by so many other dimensional beings, your ancestors, your spirit guides, your angels, source, family, friends, the neighbor down the street, the strangers across the street. You are always being watched. And it's not to make you feel cringe or to feel scary, but you're being watched by you too. You're being watched by your higher self too. And that's how you can go back and think about your memories and think about things that you've already done in your life. And be like, dang, I remember when I did that dumb shit, right? Or dang, I remember when I got in that situation. Or damn, I remember when that happened. This is what I did, and this is how I showed up. Right? In order for you to have a memory of a situation, that means you have to know that you went through it. You have to remember it, right? You have to recall yourself going through that. How else are you doing that unless you are looking at yourself from a higher lens, from a higher power, your higher Ori? Right? So understand and know that trust is a testament of faith, trusting and believing in yourself and knowing that everything happens for a reason. Gratitude for the small things because they keep you grounded in the belief and the knowing of God's wonders and the things that source or spirit wants your spirit or your soul to go through to learn, right? Understand, remember that time is money, right? And time is money, but money is also abundance, right? And abundance is a state of mind. I had to put that in because I took a note. I'm looking at my notes. Abundance is a state of mind, and it is accrued through your genuine acts of kindness, right? Because we're not here to like tear each other down. We're supposed to be building each other up. All of our stories are entwined. All of our journeys are entwined. We create the energetic frequency and the body of Christ consciousness or the collective consciousness. So know that you are not just being you. You are not just floating around and just like happenstance. No, you are pivotal. You are important. You were divinely created. Like, think about a quilt or a blanket, right? As a matter of fact, think about my mom made this, right? My mom made this blanket, right? She, oh, I'm having a moment. But she created this blanket, right? Each one of these stitches is like one of us, right? And if one of those stitches slips, or if one of those stitches becomes undone, guess what happens to the rest of the blanket? It loses its integrity. It begins to fall apart because, like they say, a chain is only as strong as its links that hold it together. Are you going to be the weak link, or are you going to be the strong link? Are you going to show up for yourself and others? Oh, my eyes itching. I'm sorry. Are you going to know who you are? Are you gonna be able to use your testament of what you have gone through to trust and build faith? Right? And the last thing I'm gonna hit on too, because it's like, I don't want excuse me. I don't want people to think that, oh, because my son real quick. Can you help me? Can you help me? Helping does not mean that I am doing it for you. Helping does not mean that somebody does it for you. Helping means that they are assisting you. And that person is only going to help when you ask for it and when you allow them to help. Ooh, that's a message. That's for me. I even felt that. You have to allow that person or persons or being to help you. You have to learn how to surrender. And that's a big one. You have to learn how to surrender and relinquish your problems, your trial, your tribulation. You got to learn how to let it go. You have to learn how to let it go. Ask for help and allow the help to step in, be it mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, whatever. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be opened. Right? You have to surrender. You have to surrender to self. You got to be like, look, I know, because I know me. I'm big on like, I can do it. I can do it. You have to know where your abilities lie and where they stop. You have to know where your capability and where it stops, how far, how much you can do, and where you need to fall back and take a break. You have to know your limits. You have to know your boundaries. And you have to have standards and live to them and hold yourself accountable to those things just as much as you're holding the other or someone else. Right? I'm real big on I tell people I don't like to have unrealistic expectations. So if I'm expecting something of you, whatever I'm expecting of you, I'm also expecting of myself. I hold myself to the same expectation. And if ever I'm not, please hold me accountable. And I tell people that. And I mean that. Like sincerely, I mean that. And I move and according to that. I even told my coworker I just started a second job, my homeboy, and I just feel like it's gonna be a great experience. Yet we were going through a planning process, right? And we were so excited and we're into it. I'm like, yeah, yeah, and we have great ideas. And then all of a sudden it was like, boop. What happened? You have to know when to fall back. You have to know what's your part, play your part, and then leave the rest alone. You got to know it. And it's not always easy to know, but the only way to know it is to know yourself. You'll know when you're supposed to move. You'll know when you're supposed to speak. You'll know when you're supposed to show up and how you're supposed to show up. You'll know. And when you don't, you're going to feel it. It's going to sit. It's not going to sit right. It's going to be like, oh, what's this? My stomach up. Right? Because when I worked with my partner, and I was like, bro, I was like, okay, something shifted. Something's changed. I can feel it. And he looked at me like, what you talking about? Everything good? No, it's not. Your whole demeanor, your attitude, your energy, everything, you just went into a whole new mood. What is it? What did I say? Or what did I do that made you be like, that took you to that place that you're in? Because if I apologize, because it's not my intention to step on your toes. We're supposed to be working together as a team because I'm a teacher, he's an artist. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to work together. Right? We're supposed to help each other where each other has darkness. Right? So if I'm versed in this information, or I'm versed in this aspect, or I'm versed in this perspective, and this vantage point, or this view, and I have this knowledge to do this thing, and you're versed in that, because we all have different things that we are Lord, please give me the word. Gifted. Thank you. We all have different things that we are gifted in. And although I may carry some of your gift and you may carry some of my gift, it doesn't mean that I am strong in your gift and you are strong in mine. I'm strong in my gift and you're strong in your gift. We have to learn how to mesh our gifts together so that we can have a congruent process and a congruent flow. And so sometimes we can take too much, or we can pour too much, or we can be overwhelming to each other, right? So you have to know, like, let me not step on your toes and let you not step on mine. Let me play my part and you play yours. And if I overstep the boundary, let me know so I can fall back. Let me know what line I can cross, what line I can't. Let me know where I need to show up, where I'm not showing up. Right? And if I say something to you and I hurt your feelings, let me know that. Because I will definitely adjust how I approach you. I will definitely adjust how I speak to you. Because it's never my intention to tear you down. It's always my intention to build you up. And it's always my intention to tell you the truth. And my sister just popped in my mind when I said that. Like, my sister asked me something recently. And I had to put it back on block. I don't want to keep my sister blocked. However, I had to put her back on block for my own sanity. Right? However, we were having a conversation and she asked me something. And I was like, I don't want to talk to you about it because if I tell you the truth, you're not going to like me. Because the truth hurts. And a lot of times we say, tell me the truth, tell me the truth. And when they tell you the truth, now you mad. You in your feelings, you feel some kind of way because of what I just said. But you asked me, right? And I'm learning that, yes, you tell the truth and you shame the devil. However, it's also in your delivery of the truth, right? You don't have to be curt. You don't have to be crass. You don't have to be, a butthole. You can tell the truth without, hurting that person's feeling. Well, because you really can't necessarily not hurt their feelings, but you can deliver it with a softer blow, right? And through discernment, you'll know how hard of a blow they actually need. Now, in that instance, I gave it to them. Like, look, y'all, look, look, because how many times am I going to say this to you before it really resonates in your soul and your spirit, right? And it's not to tear you down or to make you feel like nothing. It's to put you in the realization of where you actually are and understand the potential of where I know and you should know you could be and where you should be going. It's a wake-up call. So when somebody gives you the truth, I tell people real quick, tell the truth and shame the devil. Or tell me the truth and hurt my feelings. Let my feelings be hurt for that period of time. Let me sit with it. Let me process it. Let me be, let me feel it. Because in feeling it and understanding it and knowing it, although it hurts, it builds you up. It builds your character. Now that is for those who are willing to do the work and not want to retaliate or be in denial because somebody hurt their feelings. The truth hurts. And sometimes it hurts to tell the truth. It's not easy to walk the path of truth and truthfulness. Sometimes people are not going to like you for your truth, the truth that you have to tell. Sometimes people are not going to want to rock with you. They're not going to be your friend no more. They're not going to be around you anymore because they don't like your truth. That doesn't mean you don't tell it. You still living your truth. You still walking your truth, regardless of how somebody else is going to feel. Those are their feelings. They have to process that. It's not for me to process your feelings. It's not for me to feel your feelings. It's for you to feel your feelings so that your feelings can invoke a change within you. Now, whatever change you go through, that's on you. That's not on me. The intention is so that the change can be pivotal enough for you to make a shift, right? They call it a tower moment in tarot, right? That change, that shift in the atmosphere, they call it in Christianity, in the church. That shift should always be enough for you to want to do better, to make you alert, to make you aware of where you are not showing up or where you fucked up in the game, basically, for lack of a better term. Forgive my language because I've been doing real good with not saying cuss words. But however, I'm not gonna say because that's a cancel word. However, if you're not willing to own your actions and be accountable for your actions and your part in the situation and recognize where you fell short and pick up your cross and bear it, meaning pick up your pieces and recognize, okay, well, I was supposed to do this and I didn't do this, or I should have did this for myself and I didn't do that, or I could have, I singing your shoulda, coulda, wouldas, right? And you recognize where you fell off, get back on. Don't keep giving yourself a pity party, because all it's going to do is take you further down into this pit of despair. You're going to be in darkness. You're going to be sad. You're not going to be happy. You're going to keep looking for all the wrong things and all the wrong places and wondering, why can't I get out of this hole? Why can't I be free? Because you don't want to be free. You have to want to be free. You have to eat that shit. You got to deal with the difficult things in your life, the hard choices that you made, the poor choices that you made. You have to be accountable. Okay? And I'm going to leave it there. Because I don't like to go too far, because I feel like sometimes I ramble. Yet it is what it is. Always remember, trust is a testament of your faith. You are never alone. Gratitude for the small things is what keeps you grounded in your knowing of a higher power of source. Time is money. Abundance is a state of mind. And helping does not mean that I do it for you. Okay? Recognize and know The battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. And with that, I'm going to end this message. I don't even know what I'm going to title this message. I think I'm going to title Here I Am. I don't know. We'll see. Peace, Ashe, Amen, saying, and to thine own self to remember, always be true. Peace.